There are 12 things that men do exclusively for the lady they love. These things show their most profound emotions. Have you ever pondered the actions that will only be taken by a man when he is completely and utterly enamored with a woman? There is a tendency for us to assume that we have seen everything there is to see when it comes to love as we become older. However, the reality is that some of the most powerful manifestations of love are not spectacular or theatrical in nature. In addition to being quiet and deliberate, they are easy to overlook. This is especially true with regard to males. That is because when a man loves a woman deeply, there are some things that he does for her even when she does not ask him to. Even though he doesn't utter a word, there are things that demonstrate the extent of his commitment. We are going to discuss 12 things that men do exclusively for the woman whom they love the most in this video. This is hardly a romantic gesture of the highest kind or an extravagant one. It is the decisions that are made on a daily basis that speak loudly. From the manner in which he safeguards her tranquility to the manner in which he appears in occasions that are significant. Each sign is a window into what genuine devotion looks like, particularly in the later phases of life, when love is less about fireworks and more about foundation. When love is more about foundation. In the event that you are contemplating your own romantic partnership or attempting to gain a deeper comprehension of the man in your life, these signals will assist you in gaining a more profound understanding of love than ever before. Make sure you remain to the very end as well, mainly due to the fact that you can discover that what makes a man truly loving is not just what he says. That is the thing that he chooses to perform in a subdued manner. Time and time again. Regardless of how much time has gone, it's time to get started. Emotional security comes in first place. When a man loves a woman deeply, one of the first things he does for her, without even being aware of it, is to provide her with a sense of emotional security. In this context, neither problem-solving nor advice-giving are relevant. Creating an environment in which she has the sense that she can breathe is the goal here. Where she is free to be herself without having to be on her toes. An environment in which she does not have to filter her emotions. Or she could act as if she is more powerful than she actually is. In some cases, men are not brought up to place an emphasis on emotional security. When they are young, many people learn to be caregivers, guardians, and fixers. On the other hand, when love is profound, something changes. Not only does he stop doing things for her, but he also begins to be with her. He does not interrupt when he is listening, even when the context of the conversation becomes awkward. He maintains his presence. He doesn't downplay her worries or diminish the difficulties she's confronting. And he respects them. But the fact of the matter is that this form of security is not loud. You won't be able to recognize it in grand gestures or hear it in talks that are passionate. It manifests itself in the stillness of the moment when she is crying and he does not glance away. Without rushing to fill it, he holds his breath in the void of quiet. The manner in which he masters her emotional rhythms and shows respect for them. In the event that she is unhappy, he does not make fun of her sensitivity or become defensive. Instead, he takes a closer stance. It is not because he is required to, but rather because he values her tranquility. Her ease is of importance. Her capacity to let go of emotions and experience being seen in her true form eventually starts to be on par with his own pride in terms of importance. This level of security is gradually established. It is not claimed but rather earned. However, once it is present, it completely alters everything. She began to trust in ways that she had not been able to do previously. Her demeanor changes when he is there. More of her personality is brought into the partnership by her, because she is aware that it is permissible to do so. And what's even more impressive is the possibility that he doesn't even completely comprehend what he's doing. Simply put, he is loving her in the way that she requires. He did not learn from the world in that manner. That is the thing that makes it real. That is the reason why it is unique. Not the second. Long-term participation and employment. When a man wants to show his love for a lady, he stops using the pronoun I and begins using the pronoun we. Naturally, she is going to be a part of his plans, regardless of whether they are for the upcoming weekend or for the next 5 years. Not because he is under a lot of strain, because she had asked for it. However, he is unable to shake the feeling that the future is not going to be the same without her presence. In the tiniest of ways, this could become apparent. He asks her what she would like to eat for dinner the following week. In addition to tonight, when it comes to retirement, he talks about it as if it were something they will design together. Certainly not something that he is going to go to by himself. He fantasizes about vacations, trips with his family, and even the place where they might dwell in the future. Indeed, her presence is unquestionable. When it comes to love, men don't often employ poetic language. On the other hand, pay attention to the direction in which his ideas go when he discusses time. In the event that she is present in the narrative, the vision, and the particulars, that is due to the fact that she resides in his heart long beyond the present moment. Moreover, this is not merely a romantic affair. The issue is one of psychological safety. If a man takes a woman into consideration while he is thinking about the future, he is conveying a significant message to her. You are not for a short time. Your presence is not a choice. You are a component of what I am constructing. If she wants to feel appreciated, she might not want extravagant gestures. It is essential for her to have the experience of being selected on a consistent basis, to a deliberate degree, indeed, without any reservations. Furthermore, when a man takes her into his future without being urged to do so, this is one of the strongest indications that she already occupies a permanent position in his thoughts. I would appreciate it if you could use the second comment section below to let me know that you are continuing viewing this video and that you are finding these insights to be helpful. I strongly suggest that you subscribe to the channel and activate the bell if you have not already done so. This will ensure that you do not miss any videos. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. Modifications to one's way of life come in third. A man's way of life starts to change when he is madly in love with another woman. The reason he loves her is not because he is attempting to impress her or because she has asked him to change. Rather, it is because the rhythm of his life is organically altered as a result of his love for her. You will first become aware of it in the more subtle ways. It would be beneficial for them to wake up together if he were to start going to bed a little earlier. It's possible that he reorganizes his weekends in order to accommodate her energy. There will be fewer rush plans, longer chats, and quieter mornings, as a result of the fact that he no longer derives the same pleasure from some routines that he once considered to be indispensable. He can decide to let go of those routines. He is not concerned with losing himself. Creating space is the thing to do. Allow for the possibility of a new dynamic, a new collaboration, and a new way of being that respects what they have in common. There is a possibility that he fought against this in his younger years. It's possible that he felt the need to make some kind of sacrifice in order to move his habits or schedule around. On the other hand, when he is truly in love, it no longer feels like he is giving up something. It is as if one is crossing over into something more favorable. The most illuminating aspect is as follows. These alterations are not anything that he moans about. He is not someone who keeps score or anticipates praise. Simply put, he begins to live his life differently as a result of her presence in his life, which causes him to feel more in harmony with his various decisions. Whether it's spending more time preparing dinner, spending less time with those who don't place a high importance on relationships, or simply slowing down to match her pace, these changes are not superficial in nature. They are indications that his priorities have shifted in such a way. For the reason that when a guy loves a woman sincerely, he does not just include her into the life that he already lead. In order to accommodate the two of them, he constructs a life for them. That kind of conscious adjustment is not simply affection, it's something else entirely. The commitment is being put into action. Authentic support for her aspirations is the fourth point made. When a man does not merely tolerate the aspirations that a woman has, but rather advocates them. This is one of the clearest signals that he is in love with the woman. This type of assistance goes well beyond merely encouraging someone out of the blue. A simple, "That's nice, honey," is not all that he says. He is attentive. He is checking in as she recovers from the defeats. He is there to cheer her on and help her get back on her feet. Her goals are important to him not only because they have an impact on the relationship, but also because they are hers. It's possible that he will do some research on something that she is working toward. He is able to pose questions that require careful consideration. It is possible that he will provide assistance in a practical sense, such as keeping the grandchildren so that she can attend a class or assisting with the organizing of a new business venture. He believes in her, even when she has doubts about herself, which is the most important thing he does. And this is the best part about the kind of help that is being provided. It is a selfless act. For him, credit is not necessary. This is not because he is trying to make himself look good or because he is anticipating receiving something in return for his support of her. Just for her, he wants her to feel that she is visible, capable, and empowered. The passage of time causes that conviction to become something that she carries with her. Not because he solved everything, but because he walked by her completely involved. His constant presence reminds her of her strength in times when her confidence is wavering. This is not so much because he fixed everything. It is not simply about making significant job shifts or pursuing artistic pursuits. It could be that she has a desire to acquire new knowledge, to participate in community service, or to take up a pastime that she has never had the opportunity to pursue. A man who is truly in love does not try to make his partner smaller so that she can fit into his universe. In order to create room for hers, he grows larger. Such a cooperation creates something that is quite uncommon. It gives rise to a love that is not merely passionate, but also expansive. A love in which both parties are able to develop, and in which he derives the same amount of satisfaction from her accomplishments as he does from his own. The fifth achievement is his proud incorporation into his surroundings. He does not keep his girlfriend hidden away in a secluded portion of his life when he is completely in love with the woman he is experiencing. The moment he takes her forward, he positions her in the exact spot in the middle where she should be. When he talks about her, not only to her but also to other people, you will realize that he is talking about her. It is with a certain ease, a certain pride, and a certain warmth that he speaks when her name is spoken. Not only does he not conceal their relationship, but he also does not minimize the significance of her to him. He allows her to participate in conversations, extends invitations to attend gatherings, and introduces her to the individuals who are most important to him in his life. There are other occasions than anniversaries and dinners out where this kind of love can be seen. When he brings her to a friend's barbecue, when he seats her next to him at the family table, or when he casually remembers something she said since it has lingered with him. It is all indications that he is trying to show off his affection for her. What's more, here is what's essential. It's not about putting up a show here. This is not anything that he is doing to get anyone's approval. This is something that he is doing since he considers her to be an organic extension of his persona. His feelings for her are not distinct from the rest of his life. Everything else is linked to it in some way. A man who is not completely committed to a relationship could choose to compartmentalize his romantic life. It is possible that he will claim that he is simply being private or that he is taking things slowly. However, a man who is really committed to the relationship does not hesitate since, in his opinion, she is already a part of the image. She will meet his children. His close buddies are familiar to her. She becomes a part of the new stories that he is constructing at the same time that she hears memories from his past. And even if the relationship is still developing, his behaviors make it quite evident that you are a part of this community. Something softens and something deepens when a woman senses it, when she understands that she is not simply a guest in his life, but rather a partner in it, and when she knows that she belongs there. When she is not left wondering where she stands. She begins to relax into the connection in a manner that she would not have been able to do otherwise. It is not merely considerate to include others in this manner, rather, it is fundamental, one of the subtle ways in which love becomes genuine, rooted, and appreciated by both the people in the relationship and by everyone else in the environment is through this. I would appreciate it if you could use the 5th comment section below to let me know that you are continuing viewing this video and that you are finding these insights to be helpful. I strongly suggest that you subscribe to the channel and activate the bell if you have not already done so. This will ensure that you do not miss any videos. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. Let's proceed with our plans now. Attendant listening comes in at number 6. Hearing and listening are two distinct modalities of communication. Furthermore, when a man loves a woman profoundly, the distinction between the two becomes glaringly obvious. While she is speaking, he does not only nod his head, rather, he listens attentively, in spite of the fact that the subject matter is not his favorite or that it is something that he does not fully get. He continues to be present because it is her voice, and that alone is sufficient to make him care. When she begins to speak, you will see that he puts down the newspaper or switches off the television. This is a clear indication of his behavior. The manner in which he recalls what she said several days later, brings it up again, or acts on it without being reminded of those things. He listens with the purpose of comprehending, not fixating, not responding, but rather connecting with the other person. In addition, he does not offer any remedies to her problems unless she specifically begs him to do so. He does not tell her to calm down while she is experiencing emotional distress. Instead, he listens to her as if what she is saying happened to be the most significant thing that was taking place at that same moment. Due to the fact that in a world that is full of distractions, being fully listened is one of the most loving gifts that you can offer. This kind of attention develops a special link between two people. Additionally, her trust is strengthened when she is made to believe that she is not merely tolerated but rather actually understood. When her defenses come down, her love increases. One of the most attractive aspects of this type of listening is that it does not require the use of fancy words. In point of fact, it frequently flourishes in the absence of noise. It is not just his ears that a guy who is in love learns to listen. He also learns to listen with his posture, his patience, and his presence. In no way is he attempting to dominate the discourse. It is not his intention to wait for his turn to speak. It is because of her ideas, her stories, her worries, and her joys that he is present. And he is there because he cares about them. It is not overlooked that such a high level of attention is being paid. She is aware of it in her body. It is made clear in her gaze. It affects the sense of security that she has with him. The reason for this is that when a woman is aware that she can talk freely and completely, and that she will be accepted with grace and respect, this is not only good communication. This is the essence of love and action. Number 7. Protection that is not overt. When a man truly loves a woman, one of the most consistent and unobtrusive things he does is defend her. He does this not in grandiose, heroic moments, but rather in modest, everyday ways that are sometimes overlooked by everyone else besides the lady they are protecting. It is a natural tendency for him to move near the edge of the pavement whenever they are walking together. In order to ensure that she is comfortable, he will look around a crowded room. In the event that she is experiencing symptoms of illness, he will check in without being asked to do so. Even if she maintains that she is well, he will volunteer to take care of the duties if she is exhausted from exhaustion. It is not about being domineering in any way. The point is not to act as if she is fragile in any way. It is about paying attention, about tuning in, and about making her well-being a subtle priority that is woven throughout his activities. It is not something that he will boast about. It is not for the sake of appearances. Rather than focusing on convenience or his own preferences, he is acting in this manner because he values her comfort, her safety, and her peace more than he appreciates convenience. Furthermore, This type of protection is not always of a physical nature. Emotional impact is also possible. He protects her from stress that is not required, refrains from raising his voice during conflicts, and watches what he says when he is aware that she is weak on the inside. He is aware of the things that tend to deplete her and works to mitigate them. He is aware of what invigorates her and generously provides it to her. It is not a large-scale, all-encompassing move. These are the kinds of gestures that you can overlook if you are not paying great attention. On the other hand, if you are the woman who is the recipient of the message, you are fully aware of what they are trying to convey. They indicate that he is aware of you, that he is considering you, and that his love does not simply appear when it is convenient for him to do so. It can be found in the nooks and crannies of the day, where the actual life truly takes place. And when a guy loves in such a way, with care and quiet strength, it produces a sense of safety that extends beyond the physical realm. That you do not need to brace yourself in this connection is communicated to her by this: I am present. I am getting you. Love like that does not diminish with time. The trust, the bond, and the peace that they share together are all strengthened by the fact that each and every small act of care adds another layer to the relationship. Choosing peace over ego is the 8th recommendation. Disputes are unavoidable in any relationship that lasts for an extended period of time. There is a collision of opinions. Misunderstandings take place, and sentiments are hurt when a man develops genuine feelings for a woman. However, he experiences a change within himself throughout those times. Because of this, he no longer fights to win. He makes an effort to comprehend. This does not imply that he does not speak up or that he does not express his emotions. In other words, even when his feelings are running high, he chooses to be at peace rather than proud. He pauses for a moment before boosting the volume of his voice. The impulse to utter harsh remarks is something he fights off. After pausing for a moment, he asks himself whether it is worth it to hurt her in order to be right. It's possible that a younger or less dedicated version of himself might have doubled down, might have taken the initiative to prove a point, and might have emerged victorious. On the other hand, when he is truly in love, the victory he seeks is not about getting the final word in the conversation. It's about making sure the relationship stays intact. Moreover, this manifests itself in subtle and significant ways. Immediately following a heated exchange, he comes back around and says, "I'm sorry for how that came out." He inquires about her emotional state during the argument. Not only does he work toward achieving closure, he makes room for the healing process. I want you to listen to what I have to say. To love is to say, I want to hear you. There is no sign of weakness here. It is quite powerful. Being aware of the fact that the most powerful man in the room is the one who is able to calm himself first is the key. Who is able to prioritize connection over control. When a man loves a woman, he becomes more concerned with making things right than he is with rectifying the situation. The more she witnesses him doing it, not just once, but on a regular basis, the more she comes to trust him. Her defenses begin to relax, not just in the happy times, but also in the difficult times. She has a sense of security, mostly due to the fact that she is certain that he will not manipulate her vulnerability toward him. Love is not going to be a tool that he uses as leverage. Even when things are difficult, and especially when things are challenging, he is going to give the relationship his full attention. Building peace in such a manner is not an uncommon occurrence. It is a holy thing. In addition, this is one of the most obvious indications that his love is not a performance. Moreover, it is patient, protective, and has a strong foundation in respect. Please leave a comment below with the number 8 to let me know that you are still watching this video and that you believe these insights to be helpful. I strongly suggest that you subscribe to the channel and activate the bell if you have not already done so. This will ensure that you do not miss any videos. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. Let's proceed with our plans now. 9th, remembering the minute particulars of the situation. The fact that a guy recalls not just the significant anniversaries or holidays, but also the insignificant details, carries with it a certain degree of power. The inconspicuous remarks she made a few weeks ago, the precise manner in which she consumes her coffee, and the song that never fails to bring tears to her eyes. Not only does a man who loves a woman listen to what she has to say, but he also remembers what she has to say, because he is paying attention. Not because he is trying to impress her or win points, but because he is paying attention, considering that woman is important. Her world is also important. Taking her favorite snack from the grocery store without being asked or bringing up a tale she mentioned in passing merely to say, "I've been thinking about that," are two examples of what it might look like and how it might be perceived. Or observing that she is more reserved than normal and asking her in a gentle manner if there is something that is weighing on her heart. It may appear to the outside world that these moments are little or even unimportant. Nevertheless, for her, they are of the utmost importance. The phrase, "I see you, I hear you," is used. Here, you don't need to repeat yourself in order to make a difference. It is not about being perfect when it comes to this kind of remembering, rather, it is about being present. What a man is really trying to convey is that he is saying, "I hold on to you," while he is holding on to the little things. Additionally, it works in both directions. She is able to experience a greater sense of emotional security the more he observes and remembers. The more she believes that she is able to communicate herself, her ideas, her problems, and her joys without them being muffled by the commotion of the day, the more she trusts that she can do so. Moments like these shape the foundation of a love that endures. It is not enough to simply make lofty announcements, rather, it is necessary to perform continuous, quiet acts of compassion when no one is looking. Because when a man goes out of his way to remember the smallest of details, it not only makes her feel recognized, but it also makes her feel appreciated. In addition, this sensation, particularly as time passes, develops into one of the most profound forms of closeness that a partnership is capable of containing. Celebrating her victories is the 10th point. There is no competition between a man who is in love with the woman he loves, rather, he celebrates her. In addition, not only in the major public events, but also in the everyday successes that the majority of people tend to underestimate. He is aware of her accomplishments, whether it be the acquisition of a new opportunity, the completion of a project that she has been working on, or the triumph over something that has been dragging her down. It is not something that he dismisses or changes the subject of. The fact that he takes the time to acknowledge what it means to her and then conveys that pride to her without any hesitation is demonstrated by him. Something as straightforward as a kind grin and a sincere, "I'm proud of you," could be all that is required. Alternatively, it could be more deliberate, such as making a toast to her while they are eating dinner, urging her to tell her friends about the news, or surprising her with a small present simply because he is aware of how important it is to her. Her accomplishment is not something that he considers to be distinct from his own. There is no sense of danger or of being abandoned by him. Instead, her development contributes to the life that they are constructing. Her joy eventually becomes a component of his. And the fact that attention is at the heart of a celebration is what gives it its profound significance. Not only is he applauding the victories that are self-evident, the effort, the challenges that took place behind the scenes, and the bravery that she needs to move ahead are all being acknowledged by him. Despite the fact that she minimizes her own accomplishments, he continues to remind her of how far she has gone. He assists her in recognizing aspects of herself that she might be overlooking. Love is capable of doing that. In moments when we forget that we possess strength, it acts as a mirror, reflecting back to us that strength. Not only does this kind of support boost confidence, but it also helps. It strengthens the connection. He will be there, cheering her on, not from a distance, but right beside her. She is confident that she will be able to continue to strive, continue to evolve, and continue to attain her goals, mainly due to the fact that when a man truly loves a woman, He does not merely tolerate whatever that she accomplishes. This is something that he holds dear. This is something that he celebrates not just once, but multiple times, mostly due to the fact that one of the ways he finds joy in his own life is by celebrating her success. 11th, curiosity that never goes away. There is a lovely myth that states that after a certain number of years of being together, you have learned everything there is to know about your mate. When a man truly loves a woman, however, he continues to be fascinated about her long after the novelty of their relationship has worn off. Because he has witnessed her in both her finest and worst moments. He does not presume that he is aware of everything there is to know about her. Instead, he is aware that individuals change with time and that even after years have passed, there are still layers that need to be discovered, and he is eager to learn about them. You'll be able to tell because he continues to ask questions, not out of a sense of obligation but rather out of real interest. What put a grin on your face today? What have you been thinking about as of late? Where would you go if you had the opportunity to travel anyplace right now? These are more than just things to start a conversation. Invites are what they are. Please accept my invitations to continue sharing, to continue connecting, and to continue to keep the relationship alive and developing. The relationship begins to enter a state of autopilot when the male ceases being intrigued about the other person. However, when he continues to investigate who she is, even after she has been with him for decades, she experiences something that is very uncommon. This is not because of habit, but rather because of a continuous desire. Furthermore, this interest does not always manifest itself in words. It may appear as though he is observing how she responds to anything new, seeing a shift in her routines, recognizing when her energy is off, and checking in with her in a kind manner. Because genuine love is not founded on the notion that one has a complete understanding of another person. He is aware that remaining near to someone involves remaining attentive to them. And that remaining attentive means never presuming that the tale is over. The foundation of it is the unspoken commitment to continue learning them, to continue meeting them where they are, and to continue asking the kinds of questions that give the impression that you are still important. I'm doing my best to listen. I need to get to know you better. Not only is that kind of inquiry appealing to a woman, but it is also fundamental to her. By doing so, it prevents the connection from becoming tired. The link is maintained as a result. Moreover, it serves as a reminder to her that she is not merely living in the same house as him. She is still intensely noticed. The 12th spot, which is consistently present. When a man wants to show his love for a woman, he does it not only on the days when things are going well, not only when things are simple, but especially when things are challenging. Stability is not a glamorous quality. There are no flowers or unexpected getaways included in the package. The decision to be present, to be trustworthy, and to be by her side in times of uncertainty, difficult circumstances, or just plain messy is something that must be made on a daily basis. At times when she is feeling overwhelmed, he does not vanish. When there is a disagreement, he does not remain silent. Even when his feelings get more convoluted, he does not withdraw. Instead, he takes a closer stance. He does not leave. The reason he continues to show up is not because he is required to, but rather because he considers her well-being to be a part of his own. When she has had a difficult day, it may mean going across town, sitting in quiet when she just needs to cry, or doing the mundane everyday chores like picking up groceries or doing laundry because it helps lighten her load. All of these actions are intended to help her feel less burdened. One of the reasons why this form of love is so potent is that it is not contingent on your state of mind, the time of day, or your convenience. Having been built on a silent vow, I have no intention of leaving. There is never a time when she needs to guess where she stands with him. Because he is not unpredictable. Even when life seems to be uncertain, he is there to provide her with solace, support, and a constant reminder that she does not have to face the world by herself. However, this does not imply that he is flawless. He is going to take days off. He is going to make errors. Nevertheless, Due to his steadiness, he is able to come back even when he makes mistakes. He makes repairs. He re-engages in the conflict. Reliability of that nature is quite uncommon. To be sure, it is not romantic in the sense that movies portray it, but it is the kind of love that endures. Love that is patient, profound, and long-lasting in its ability to create trust in a relationship. As a result of the fact that, at the end of the day, true love is not solely about how you feel during romantic moments. It is about who continues to show up day after day, year after year, with a hand that is rough, open, and quiet, saying, "I am still here." Lastly, some thoughts. Take a time to think about what you've heard as we come to the end of this discussion. At first sight, these 12 activities would appear to be unremarkable. Nevertheless, put together, they convey a considerably more significant story. The narrative of what love appears to be when it is genuine, mature, and firmly anchored in the heart. Achieving perfection or making great romantic gestures is not the point here. Having presence is the key. When a man says, "I'm with you," it's about the subtle ways he does it. "There you are. You are my choice." Repeatedly and without fail. There is a possibility that you, as a woman who is watching this, recognize some of these indicators in the man who is standing next to you. Perhaps you are still holding out hope that you will find that kind of love. In any case, you should be aware that you are deserving of someone who loves you not only verbally but also by their deeds. And someone who is present in the day-to-day activities, and not just in the highlights reel. If you are a male who is observing, it is possible that you recognized yourself in these times. You might already be engaging in a good number of these activities. And if that is the case, proceed, simply because these are not merely indications of affection. Strength, integrity, and wisdom are all indicators that may be attributed to a life that has been lived to the fullest. To tell you the truth, genuine love does not yell. That is the case. Marriage is not because marriage is simple that it endures, but rather because it is constructed on trust, work, and a quiet everyday decision to care for one another. So, which of these signs resonated with you the most on this particular day? Among them, which one would you like to put into practice more deliberately in your personal relationship? We appreciate you being here with us today. It would be wonderful if you could get in touch with us. Please leave a comment below and tell us about one item you discovered today and how you intend to put it to use in your life right now. We place a high value on your opinions, so please do not be reluctant to share them with us. Our inspiration and encouragement are greatly increased as a result of reading your remarks. I would appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, and share this video if you found it to be informative and enjoyable. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. We appreciate you watching. Furthermore, we are looking forward to seeing you in the subsequent video.